Hello everyone, Jim here, Betsy here. Betsy is 1-year-old Brittany Spaniel, came in for our residency. Very sweet, affectionate girl. She does get distracted. She gets really excited with chickens, horses, children, visitors, you name it. She gets excited, she can't get away, she'll bark. She just does all those exciting, happy things that can be irritating at times. So what we do is we address a lot of behaviors through obedience. And once we start establishing obedience and the dogs understand what we want, when we want it, they start to understand when we address behaviors. And it's important that we praise more than we bite. I like to talk about biting if you've watched any of my videos, providing consequence. But we're not here to intimidate, dominate, break her spirit, hurt her, or have her fear us, okay? So we're gonna go through the obedience and I'll talk a little bit more while we're working. Hopefully she's gonna do everything right. If she messes up, we're gonna address it and we're gonna go right on. Isn't that right? One of the things when we have a dog that gets distracted, we want to do everything in our power to get her to look at us. And when she looks at us, we want to make sure she praises us. So hopefully I'll do that during the video when she starts to look. Hey, you ready? Okay, let's go. So one of the things, I don't know if you noticed, I asked her if she was ready. I didn't give her the command, but if you'll go back and watch the video, you'll see she went like this, like she was ready to go. That's okay. But what I was going to tell you, for her owner, she is really smart, and if you're not careful and mix up your commands, she's going to anticipate what you're going to ask her to do before you do it. And that's no fun, because now she's just going through a protocol or a process, and she's not really hanging on your every word. And we want her to try to pay as much attention as we can. Let's go. So now we're walking. Our job is to walk her right here beside us. You know, we can walk fast. We can slow down, we can turn. Her job is to walk with us. She was a puller on a leash. She has done a very good job with that. We're gonna have situations that she does something and we just have to mark that occasion and we work through it. Let's go. And how do we work through it? We tap the leash. If she started to go out here, here, or here, as soon as she started to do it, I would tap the leash right back to my hip. And when I say tap the leash, I'm not talking about pull and jerk it. I'm talking about tap and release. And then when she does what we ask, we praise her. Good girl, let's go. Sit. Hand signal for sit. I ask her to sit. When I ask her to sit, she must sit. If she doesn't sit, I'll tap the leash straight up above her head and tell her no, sit. Or if she popped up out of that sit, I would tell her no, sit. If she does it once, it'd be something I'd be watching for her to break the command. She's really good with obedience, as again, she'll anticipate it. And if she gets distracted, she may miss a command, but that's something we have to work on. So when we want to get up, no, sit, good girl. So there you go. There's you something to watch for. That was part of anticipation. I don't know if you saw me getting ready to move my legs. She was probably getting ready to think I was going to tell her, let's go. It's not about her thinking. She needs to pay attention, if you will. So when we have our dog doing a command, we can move from one command to another, or we can do what I call the release command, B-R-E-A-K. And when I do that, I'm going to step back and I'm going to try to encourage her to come right between my legs. You ready? Right here. Good girl. See how she gets excited? We want to love her. We want to thank her. And our target is here, especially for all dogs, but especially for those that are distracted. We want her focus to be right here for the break. Also, the break is the predecessor to the come command or recall command at some point in time. We want to get her so in the habit of coming right here and focusing here that she'll not get distracted by something else if it pops up. If she does, of course, we have to react to it. Okay, let's go. So you know the sit. We can go from one command to another. We break her. When we break her, I don't know if you noticed, that was my hand signal, and I step back to encourage her to come. So even now, I'm stepping back. She wants to come in, and where's she coming automatically? Right here. We want to be excited with her. We want her to enjoy. She didn't break a command. I didn't ask her to do a command just then. Let's go. Okay, next command, chill. Good girl. Chill is our place command. She already has the place command at home for getting in her crate, so we use chill for the place. She can get on the bed, lay down, sit down, stand up, whatever the case may be. She can be there. She can be there for an hour or two. She's done real good in the beginning with us. We walked out of the room, someone come to the door, she would break the command. We had to work on that, repetition, repetition. This is one of the things she did at home when people came in. She would try to run to the door. She couldn't get the door, she would bark. We know those things are going to happen. We have to set them up. That means we have someone come to the door. If she starts to bark, we tell her, good girl, for letting us know somebody's there. But if she keeps on, we're going to bite her, okay? If we go to the door and we have her in a place and she gets up and runs, we're going to take her back. No, 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 place. We need repetitions to teach her that she has to hold it. I have no doubt she's going to test you, but I have no doubt that with a little bit of work, a little bit of repetition, saying what you mean, meaning what you say, she's going to do fine with it. Good girl, break. So one of the things, you notice how she was sitting so upright and pretty on the place or the chill. Remember, she can lay down, sit down, stand up, I don't care. When she first hit the place, she was so rigid. She has a little bit of anxiety, nothing too terribly bad. We just have to work through it. We don't want to pay a lot of attention to anxiety. But when she first started doing play, she would just stand there. And we just waited her out. And finally, she got bored one day and laid down. And what do you think we told her when she laid down on the chill command? Good girl. We want her to know that's okay, if that makes sense. Let's go. All right, so again, let's go. Sit. Good girl. Down. Good girl. Front down, side down. In front of her, she can see this better than this. Beside her, she can see this better than that. When we ask her to down, she has to hold it till we release her. Okay, we could come in and go, stay. Now we tell her to down, stay. It means pack her bag. She's going to be there for a while, okay? She can smell the ground now. She can lay on her side as far as the stay command, because she's not having to pay attention to our next command. She knows she's going to be there for a while. Okay, let's go. So the other thing I'll do with the stay command, we had the DOWN stay. I will use it for a door. Like someone's coming to the door, you want her in a room, you go to that doorway, you tell her to stay. You go to the door, if she busts through, you get her, no, 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 stay, and you immediately walk back. But she can learn that same hand signal for standing up or staying in a general room if you work on it enough. Let's go. So, real quick, sit, down, from the side, break, let's go. Good girl. So the next thing is her load up is a little bit different what we normally use. Doesn't matter, you can use any words you want to. Just be consistent with it. Okay, baby. Up, up. Good girl. Actually, she's usually a lot quicker than that. Good girl. Right. I don't mind. I think that was really good, if you will. Sit. Good. Did you see her nod the head again? She was ready to do a command, whatever command she thought I was going to ask her to do. She went, and then she looked at me. Very good girl for not doing it. Play that back and look at it. It's just at the beginning. You'll see her head do this. All right, we're going to do the heel command. The heel is a lot like the let's go, but much tighter. We want her right here in an imaginary box beside us. Unfortunately, she can't read our mind, so we have to walk slow and guide and give her a chance if she gets out of the box to get in it. My hands always start going in a straight line for 3, 5, 6, 7 steps. Stop. She should sit automatically. Heel. Good girl. And when she sits, she has to hold it. I can move off because at the end of the heel, she sits. Heel. So now I'm going to turn around. Watch when I step off. Now, she's out of the box, but you notice when I stepped off, she's trying to get right back in the box. We allow her, good girl, that chance to do it. Right. Hope that makes sense. A couple of things before we finish up. I've got another command to do yet. Praise. We want to praise 20 times more during the day than we bite. We ask her to do something, we either praise or consequence. Consequence is not about intimidating, dominating, breaking her spirit, hurting her, or having her fear you. It's about providing touch, because that's how dogs communicate with each other primarily, in my belief, which I believe is correct in this case. Not all the time am I right, but I really believe that. Let's go. Sit. So you remember we did the BREAK command. Now we can also start to do the formal COME on leash. And why? Because this is a way to teach her if she doesn't come to us like we want, we can tap the leash to where? Right here. Watch. I step up. She comes, she sits, and holds it. Break. Now, watch this. Pretend like she's off leash, because this is going to be very important for the owners. And quite honestly, when I get through working with a dog and you start taking the dog, your job is to get to 80, 90, 95%. First time you ask her to do something, she needs to do it. You need to do it with a loose leash, not pulling her and dragging her to do it. She has to do it because she's thinking about it and it's her own volition, okay? And she has to think it's a part of life. It needs to be happy when we do that. So we always want to be, praise as words touch street toy, positive emotion. We always try to excite her, okay? So that's what we're going to do. So now, but just pretend like she's off leash, okay? And one of the things when I do the COME command off leash, I'm never going to tell her to do that unless she's already in the act. We could use a treat, we could use a toy, we could use excitement, but watch and let's see what happens, okay? Hey, Betsy, hey, over here, come. Good, break. Now you notice I did not tell her to come till when? Till she had already committed coming to me. I know this sounds so stupid, but if I went, hey baby, showed her a treat, a toy, and she didn't want anything to do with it, I didn't lose anything because I didn't tell her to COME. If you use praise the way I tell you, if you get really excited with her, she's going to want to interact with you, okay? So I made sure she got excited, looked at me, and wanted to come, and then I gave her the command. And she came right on up, and now we're teaching her that the come command can be a very positive thing, okay? She is a treat hound, loves treats, except for when working. She's probably been maybe 30 or 40% effective with treats. So that's why I've primarily been using nothing but video, nothing but emotion, and telling her good girl on the video. She's a really great girl. She can do the things we ask her to do. She's only now starting. She's actually at a good age. A year old, she's moving into that stage where maybe she's on the outer end of wanting to test everything. Maybe not. But when we establish who we are, we never give a command unless we know she's going to do it or we can make her do it. And on those behaviors that we've talked about, when we do those behaviors and set her up with repetitions, she's going to learn. When she's been doing something wrong and you've been working on it, you don't want to get frustrated, but once she does right, it's wow, you want to make sure you praise the heck out of her, and then you continue to build. The worst thing you can do is with a bad behavior, or even training a new command, teaching a new command, you don't want to do it once a week. You need to get those repetitions in. You need to be fun. It doesn't need to be 30 minutes. It doesn't need to be an hour. 5, 10, 15 minutes is great. Heck, 30 seconds or a minute is great as well. You use what you can when you can. The last thing I'm going to tell you, I see it all the time. When you put a collar on your dog, you don't want to put the collar on and immediately start working. Because if you're not careful, they're going to think the collar is causing her to obey instead of you. I always put collars on and take them off when my dog's least expecting it, and then I'll begin training 10 to 15 minutes later. If you ask me, that's one of the biggest problems you see in the e-collar industry. Dogs know this. Dogs know when this collar is going on. And the vast majority, not every time, they know it. Why? Because the trainer or handler, which could be you or it could be the dog trainer, is tipping off the set of circumstances that's going to make that dog obey. Okay? I appreciate you. God bless you. I'm here if you need me. And thank you so much for trusting me. And you guys out there, if you have a question, reach out to me. Jim Hodges Dog Training, 336-945-3232. And email sales@jimhodgesdogtraining.com. Take care. Bye-bye.